Hey guys, it's Neil Waterhouse. Received an email from Jeanette Morales. Apologies Jeanette if I've mispronounced your surname. Jeanette asks, how can we compete with the Chinese sellers? Jeanette, this is a great question. We get this question a lot especially from new eBay sellers. I'll explain this and also why it happens, and most importantly, how you can change the playing field so the Chinese can't compete with you. First of all, the Chinese can only compete with small items weighing less than 1 pound or half a kilo. And this is due to an international treaty which was put in place back in 1969. As an example, if I was to ship 2 iPad cases to my next door neighbour using the normal postal system, it'll cost me around $7.50 to post these 2 iPad cases. Now, to ship the same 2 iPad cases from say Shenzhen in China or from Hong Kong to my next door neighbour, it'll cost around $1.50. Now, the reason for this is back in, like I said, 1969, an international treaty was set up with participation from most countries, including Australia, USA, UK, and Canada, etc. Now, this treaty is managed by an agency of the United Nations, and it was originally put in place so residents in China and Hong Kong could post letters cheaply to other countries. These letters can only weigh up to 1 pound or half a kilo. Of course, what has happened since then with the evolution of e-commerce and eBay, etc., is the Chinese are shipping everything they possibly can which weighs up to 1 pound. Now, for this reason, we've moved away from selling these same small items. The great news is that, however, the playing field radically changes for the Chinese when they want to ship large items. Suddenly they can't compete. Suddenly Chinese sellers, for example, to ship a box a little larger than a shoebox from China via airmail or air freight, it costs around US $100. It's very expensive to ship via air freight from China, and this is great news for us. Most new eBay sellers though, they want to start selling small cheap items like iPhone cases, USB cables, etc, etc. However, these are the exact same items which the Chinese can ship cheaply, and items which I would highly recommend you avoid. So, the way to win is to only sell items which weigh more than half a kilo. Now, for a complete change of tack, when you're not selling an item but you've put your buying hat on instead, you want to buy something, you can really take advantage of this treaty. Remember the saying, for every problem there is an opportunity? Well, this is an opportunity. The treaty gives us all access to some amazing bargains direct from China. It really is amazing how cheap you can get small items from China these days on eBay. The Chinese, they're happy to make a few cents on an order. Whereas we're not going to send out an order, unless we can make at least $10 on an order, we're not even going to bother listing it. Now, for example, next time you break, say, a drill bit, instead of going to the hardware store and spending $5 plus for one drill bit, go to eBay and buy 10 for only $2, and that's with free shipping. There are so many small items you can buy incredibly cheap from China via eBay. Another example, last week I needed some small specialist screws for a little project that I'm doing, and instead of driving the nut and bolt shop, I purchased 100 of them from China, which cost around $7 with free delivery. I saved myself an hour of driving, and those same screws which cost me $7, they would have cost me at least 5 times that from the nut and bolt shop. Sure, they'll take around 2 to 3 weeks to arrive from China, but for this project I'm not in any big hurry. So Jeanette, I hope that explains why the Chinese can sell more items cheap, and also how to get around the problem so the Chinese cannot compete with you, and how you can take advantage of the treaty. That's all for this week. No matter where you're watching this video, whether it's on Facebook, or it's on my YouTube channel, or my blog, neilwaterhouse.com, please scroll on down, please leave a comment. If you're already taking advantage of the treaty and buying small cheap items from China, please leave a comment. I'd love to know what you're buying. If you know anybody who might find this video useful, please give me a share. Until next week, list more, sell more. This is Neil Waterhouse.